Welcome, GRPS staff, to Module 4 in Distance Learning for teachers new to Google Classroom. Module 4 will cover setting up your course stream in the Stream tab of your Google Classroom. Before we get started, let's take a little look at our best practices for working in Google. Make sure that we're signed in as our @students.grps.org account in our Google Chrome browser. Make sure that we're signed in as our @students.grps.org email in Google. And let's go take a look at our test class that we've been working on this module and take a look at the final of the 4 tabs at the top, the Google Stream tab. The Stream tab is designed to mimic a social media timeline. If you're a Facebook or Twitter fan, then you're familiar with the fact that as people post things, they get lost down the timeline. Sometimes it can be hard to see things. Unfortunately, the stream here in Google Classroom can potentially do the same thing unless we set it up correctly. You'll notice that in our previous module, when we posted new material, it was notified here in the stream. And this is a time sensitive post. So the more we post, the further these 2 posts get pushed further down and get lost. We want to be careful that we get used to using the stream as a notification section and less like a timeline and as a place to find things. We really want to get our students used to clicking classwork to go and find materials and looking at the stream for announcements from our teachers and our staff that are important for them to know. Especially during this distance learning time, there may be announcements along the lines of device pickup will be happening X date or whatever the case may be. We may want to disseminate some district information here as well. There's also a nice little upcoming what's due coming up here. And of course, as a teacher, you can see your class code here in this section as well. In this stream section, it is important to consider what you want your students to see. In my case, as I learned through my classroom, I found that I didn't have a need for all of these notifications in my stream. What these did was confuse the issue for my students, and I had students who never left this tab in their Google Classroom, and they'd be scrolling for days looking to find a quiz or an assignment or a homework assignment that was somewhere listed in here in a chronological order, when all they had to do was go in here and look for week 1 lessons to find the material that they needed. So what I did in my classes and what I've seen several other professionals do in their classes and seems to be best practices for Google Classroom is I went up here to the settings gear for Google, and underneath my class details section, there's a general section here. And you'll notice that there is a notification here or a setting here that says students can post and comment. I turned this off and set it only to teachers can post or comment. The reason why is I wanted a little bit of control as a teacher over my formal classroom student chats. And if students were posting and comment just to things that were showing up in that stream, announcements and notifications, it wasn't quite as controlled and focused as I would have liked from a teaching standpoint. That's not to say that students aren't ever going to be able to post and comment in my Google Classroom. If I create a question like we talked about in previous modules, they'll still be able to go ahead and participate in that type of a chat, but that'll be controlled and around a subject that I'm dictating as a teacher. You are free to change this setting. Again, recommended best practices if you're new to Google Classroom is to set this to only teachers can post or comment. Additionally, classwork on the stream, right now it's set to show condensed notifications. My experience is that this can create confusion for the students. As I mentioned before, as you post materials and assignments and quizzes and questions and materials and everything else over the course of the next 5 or 6 weeks, that is all going to post chronologically in notification form in that stream. That can get confusing really fast. And so what I did in my class, and seems to be best practice for new users here in Google Classroom, would be to hide those notifications. So what your stream looks like ultimately is a notification, a chronological notification board for you to communicate big ideas, big announcements to your students. Once you've changed those sections, you want to go ahead and hit save. And it will take you back out to your stream where you can now say this week's agenda. E-test. And 2 is discussion. And you may post this on a Monday at the beginning of the day, whatever the case may be. You can post this announcement to any of your classes. So maybe this is an announcement from the district about, hey, food drop-off locations have changed during the shutdown, and you want to copy and share that with your students. You can post that to all of your classes just by clicking those buttons, and all of your students. You can add a link there as well. So maybe you got a file shared with you in Microsoft Teams from your administrator that they want to share out to your students. You can share that file digitally just by attaching it to this announcement and then hitting post. And you'll see that that shows up there. I can add a class comment here, but nobody else can because of the settings that we saved earlier. That's all I've got for you today. Again, remember, we've got support lines available to you here at the district. Helpdeskinfo.grps.org has support articles for you to do some self-guided learning. As always, Help Desk is available via email and phone. And don't forget about the brand new distance learning support line that's going to be available on Thursday, March 16th, 819-7960. And always don't hesitate to reach out to your building tech heroes, your people who are doing great things with technology, your building principals, and then, of course, the instructional technology team. We are here to support you. Good luck. We'll see you next time.